When someone receives a cancer diagnosis, it can feel like their world has been turned upside down. Amidst the whirlwind of information and advice, one of the first things they often hear, sometimes even before they leave the doctor's office, is, "Cut out all sugar." The belief that sugar is a poison, a direct fuel for cancer, is everywhere. A pervasive idea that seems to have taken root in our collective consciousness. You see it on social media, constantly popping up in your feeds. It's whispered in hospital waiting rooms, among worried families seeking answers and support. And it's often repeated by well-meaning friends, eager to offer any advice that might help. It's understandable why this idea is so prevalent. In the face of fear and uncertainty, we desperately want control, a sense of agency over our own health. And changing our diet, meticulously scrutinizing food labels, feels like something tangible, something we can actively do to fight back. The underlying idea is simple and seemingly logical. If cancer cells love sugar, if they thrive on it, then starving them of it, depriving them of their preferred fuel source, must help slow their growth or even kill them off. But is it really that straightforward? Is the relationship between sugar and cancer as simple as it seems? This narrative, this constant barrage of warnings about sugar, has unfortunately turned food into a source of anxiety for many people. It's gotten to the point where people feel guilty for eating even a piece of fruit, questioning whether they're inadvertently feeding their cancer. But is this fear justified? Are we right to be so wary of sugar? Is sugar truly the villain it's made out to be, the ultimate enemy in the fight against cancer? Today we're going to delve into this complex issue. We'll examine where this idea that sugar fuels cancer actually came from, tracing its origins and understanding its evolution. We'll explore what actually happens in our bodies when we consume sugar, looking at the metabolic processes involved and how different cells utilize glucose. And most importantly, we'll examine what the scientific research really says about the link between sugar and cancer, separating fact from fiction. Our goal is to replace fear with facts, to empower you with knowledge. We want to help you make informed, confident choices about your diet based on evidence rather than anxiety. Ultimately, we aim to provide you with a balanced perspective on sugar and its role in your overall health. So, let's get started. Is sugar really the super fuel for cancer, the magic ingredient that makes it thrive? Or is the truth far more nuanced and complex than we've been led to believe? Let's find out. To understand the origins of this pervasive myth, the idea that sugar feeds cancer, we need to journey back in time to the early 20th century, specifically the 1920s. This was a period of significant scientific discovery, a time when researchers were just beginning to unravel the complexities of cellular metabolism and the unique characteristics of cancer cells. Our story begins with Otto Warburg, a brilliant and highly respected scientist who would later become a Nobel laureate for his groundbreaking work in the field of cellular respiration. He was a pioneer in understanding how cells generate energy. Warburg made a pivotal discovery. Cancer cells consume glucose, a type of sugar, at a rate significantly higher. In fact, dramatically higher than that of normal healthy cells. This observation was a key piece in the puzzle of understanding cancer's unique metabolic needs. They do this using a process called glycolysis, a metabolic pathway that breaks down glucose to produce energy. Cancer cells heavily rely on this process, even when oxygen is plentiful, which is quite different from how normal cells behave. This unusual preference for glycolysis in cancer cells became known as the Warburg effect. It was a revolutionary finding that changed the way scientists thought about cancer metabolism. The Warburg effect is now recognized as a real and significant hallmark of many different types of cancers, a characteristic that distinguishes them from their healthy counterparts. It's a fundamental aspect of cancer biology. From this discovery, a leap in logic was made. The reasoning went something like this. If cancer cells have this insatiable appetite for sugar, if they thrive on glucose, then surely cutting off the supply of sugar, drastically reducing sugar intake, must starve the cancer cells and halt their growth. On the surface, it sounds perfectly logical, a straightforward solution. However, like many things in science and biology, it's a vast oversimplification of a much more complex reality. The nuances of Warburg's research, the intricate details of cellular metabolism, were often lost in translation. The science was boiled down, condensed, and simplified into a catchy, attention-grabbing headline: Sugar feeds cancer. This seemingly simple idea quickly spread like wildfire, fueled in large part by the burgeoning wellness industry. It was also perpetuated by well-meaning, but often misinformed advice from friends, family, and even some healthcare professionals. This complex biochemical process was reduced to a simple, easy-to-follow dietary rule, making it seem like anyone could control their cancer risk simply by cutting out sugar. Books, promising miracle cures, blogs filled with anecdotal evidence, and social media influencers built entire platforms and careers on this fundamental misunderstanding of cancer metabolism. They capitalized on the fear surrounding cancer, selling restrictive diets and expensive supplements as a way to starve the disease. The sugar feeds cancer myth persists to this day, largely because it offers a seemingly simple and actionable answer. It provides a comforting sense of control over a disease that is, in reality, incredibly complex and multifaceted. But the biological reality inside our bodies, the intricate dance of cells and molecules, is far more complicated than a simple cause and effect relationship. The jump from the controlled environment of Warburg's laboratory to your everyday lunchbox skips over a multitude of crucial scientific facts and biological processes that are essential to understanding how cancer truly works. Let's clarify what sugar does in your body, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. We need to understand the fundamental role it plays in keeping us alive and functioning. Glucose, the main sugar, is the primary fuel for all your cells. It's the energy currency that powers every single process happening within you, from the smallest cellular function to the most complex bodily activity. Not just cancer cells. Healthy cells rely on glucose to perform their normal functions, like growth, repair, and communication. When you eat carbs, your body breaks them down into glucose, which is then absorbed into the bloodstream. This process is essential for providing your body with the energy it needs, which powers everything from thinking, learning, and remembering to moving, exercising, and simply going about your daily activities. Your brain alone uses about 20% of your body's energy from glucose. It's a highly demanding organ that requires a constant supply of fuel to function optimally. If you cut out all sugar and carbs, drastically limiting your glucose intake, your body will make its own glucose from protein through a process called gluconeogenesis, and fat, ensuring that your cells still have access to the energy they need to survive. You can't selectively starve cancer cells of sugar by depriving your entire body. Your body doesn't work that way. It's a complex system that prioritizes survival and will find ways to provide glucose to all cells. All cells, healthy and cancerous, have access to glucose in your blood because it's transported throughout the body via the circulatory system. The Warburg effect is real and describes how cancer cells metabolize glucose differently than healthy cells, but it's a target for drug research, offering potential avenues for treatment, not a reason for extreme diets that can compromise your overall health. Scientists are working on therapies, specifically designed to block cancer's unique metabolism, targeting the specific pathways that cancer cells rely on for growth and survival, not on sugar-free diets, which lack scientific support and can have detrimental effects. Restrictive diets can do more harm than good, potentially leading to malnutrition and weakening the body's ability to fight the disease, especially for those already fighting illness, as they require adequate nutrition to maintain strength and support their immune system. The real science is about targeted treatments that precisely attack cancer cells while minimizing harm to healthy cells, not cutting out sugar entirely, but focusing on a balanced diet and a healthy lifestyle to support overall well-being. So does eating sugar cause cancer or make it grow faster? Major studies show no direct link between sugar itself and cancer growth in humans. Cancer organizations worldwide agree. Sugar doesn't directly cause or accelerate cancer. The real issue is indirect. Diets high in sugar often lead to weight gain and obesity. Obesity is a major risk factor for at least 13 types of cancer. Excess body fat changes hormone levels and increases inflammation, creating an environment where cancer can thrive. The problem isn't the sugar molecule, but the long-term pattern of excess sugar and calories. It's not about the sugar in your tea, but about overall dietary habits. Understanding this distinction is key to making healthy choices. Let's debunk some common fears. Eating fruit or a small amount of sugar won't make cancer grow faster. Your body treats all glucose the same. Extreme diets like keto are being studied, but there's no solid evidence they cure cancer, and they can be risky without medical supervision. Natural sweeteners like honey or maple syrup are still sugar to your body. The key is moderation and the overall quality of your diet. Rejecting proven medical treatments in favor of unproven diets is dangerous. No diet, including sugar-free, has ever been proven to cure cancer. The best approach is evidence-based medicine, supported by a balanced diet. Focusing on a single nutrient misses the bigger picture. Decades of research show that overall dietary patterns matter most for cancer risk. Diets rich in vegetables, fruits, whole whole grains, and legumes are protective. These foods provide fiber, vitamins, and phytochemicals that help guard your cells. Maintaining a healthy weight is crucial. Obesity is a strong cancer risk factor. High-sugar processed foods make weight gain easy, so reducing them helps. Limiting red and processed meats also lowers risk, especially for bowel cancer. Regular physical activity, at least 150 minutes a week, is hugely beneficial. Limiting alcohol is important too, as it's a known cancer risk. A healthy lifestyle is a package-balanced diet, exercise, healthy weight, and avoiding smoking and excess alcohol. What does this mean for your daily life? The goal isn't to fear sugar, but to be mindful and moderate. The World Health Organization suggests keeping free sugars below 10% of daily calories, about 12 teaspoons for adults. Cutting sugary drinks is one of the easiest ways to reduce intake. Read labels. Sugar hides in many foods. Focus on adding healthy foods like whole fruit, which comes with fiber and nutrients. Treat cakes and sweets as occasional treats, not daily staples. Enjoy food without guilt and aim for balance, not perfection. Sugar doesn't directly fuel cancer, but a high-sugar diet can lead to obesity, which increases risk. Don't panic or go to extremes. Choose a balanced, plant-rich diet, stay active, and enjoy treats in moderation. That's the evidence-based path to better health and lower cancer risk. Thanks for joining us for another healthful tip. Don't forget to subscribe and watch the next video.